Hi everyone. Today is Wednesday, April the 9th, and I have my third ketamine treatment today. I had one last Wednesday and one last Friday. I have to say that I do feel like the ketamine treatment has helped me in some ways. For one, it has helped lift some of that heaviness that I was feeling in terms of anxiety and depression. If you see some of my other videos, I was waking up super panicky, like over the top every single day for the past month and on and off for the past couple of months, despite using a lot of my coping mechanisms and my medications. Since I got the treatments, I have to say that I wake up now with my normal level of generalized anxiety disorder, which still includes some panicness. I still do have a lot of tension around my stomach area, where I can feel a lot of my anxiety. A lot of the heavy depression has kind of lifted along with the feelings of suicide ideation. So far it feels like this treatment is helping me in some ways. I still have 3 treatments to go. I'm still feeling anxious every day like I have for most of my life. But again, I really feel like that heaviness has been lifted off. I still wake up with the question of what's the point of all this? Like, what's the point in life? But I am able to challenge those thoughts where beforehand the feelings were so strong and intense that it left me with no desire and no hope to kind of continue on if this was what I was going to have to endure for the rest of my life. It was just too much and too overwhelming. So it's brought me down a few notches to a more manageable state, and a more copable state, and a state that I can probably go back to masking and not telling the whole world about all my problems. I still have 3 treatments to go, and I really do hope that I do get more relief from my anxiety. My body is constantly in a fight or flight mode, even when I should just be relaxed. I'm not sure if that's going to go away with the next 3 ketamine treatments. I'm just going to try to stay positive. But the treatment has helped me in some significant ways where I'm able to challenge my thoughts. It's lifted that heaviness of the overwhelming feelings of anxiety, depression, and it has lifted some of the intense feelings of the suicide ideation. There's a lot of work that I need to do in terms of finding joy and purpose in my life on top of all of this. And overall, just find a deeper meaning, try to focus on the positive aspects of the world and pay less attention to the messed up things in the world and questioning why people do certain things. We can only help build the world into a more positive and caring place if we take care of ourselves internally and we're keeping a good, cool head. And again, this is all easier said than done because it's really hard when you feel a lot, think a lot, and are dealing with a lot of mental health issues. So going into the ketamine therapy, I didn't really know what to expect because I read all these different things of people having aha moments when they're under the treatment or having some form of spiritual journey and an awakening as to why they're feeling the way that they were. Because I'm somebody that's highly anxious, I definitely had a different experience. I think maybe the first time the doctor did a little bit too much ketamine because they're trying to figure out what's the good dosage for you. It varies based on everybody. They wouldn't know how to change the dosage until they actually try it. But again, they are monitoring you the whole time. You're in a safe place. But I definitely was in a K-hole for 40 minutes the first time around. It was a very anxious experience. You definitely feel disconnected from your body, even though you're sitting in a seat that's in a building that's surrounded by a doctor and a psychiatrist. You're very much mentally not there. You are gone into this new journey where you're seeing different colors, shapes morphing, maybe even some people, almost in like a cartoon-like state. I kept seeing my cat Zero, and that kind of grounded me because my cat makes me happy. It was almost like an abstract animated film. As the music would change, your journey would kind of change based on that as well. If you stick around, I kind of put together a few clips of what it looked like to some degree inside my head. With a little bit of exaggeration. Coming out of ketamine therapy the first time, I felt really anxious. I felt like nothing went away. I still felt really intense anxiety in my wrists and in my stomach. I left thinking that maybe this wasn't going to work for me. I could say that maybe the suicide ideation was gone. When I got home, I had to rest because it actually does take a big toll on you mentally. I came out with headaches, brain fog, feeling very lightheaded. I definitely needed somebody to take me home, so my dad was there to drive me home. You're very much out of it. The rest of the day, you can't plan any activities if you're thinking about that. You're very much in this weird state of mind where things are still a little bit lucid. But waking up the next day, I definitely felt that like some of that heaviness had gone away. A couple of things is you want to just eat lightly and just drink lots of water because your body is still coming off the ketamine. During this time frame, you can't really use any technology. For one, it hurt my eyes to look at the phone screen. With the ketamine treatment, your brain is put into a state of neuroplasticity, so you're able to form new neural pathways. Things that you definitely want to avoid are things that are going to be anxiety inducing or depressing. You want to stay away from social media, the news, anything that's going to mess up your mind while your brain is in a state of creating new ways of thinking. Make sure you're not around people that are going to cause you anxiety or limit your interaction with them. For example, I get triggered by everything, so I had to tell my parents that I need to limit my interactions with them and tell my parents, like, don't tell me things that are depressing or things that are happening in the news. Same with my friends. I had to limit who I'm interacting with as well, just to make sure that my brain is really able to take the benefits from the ketamine therapy. You want to keep this mindset along the 2 to 3 weeks that you are getting the treatment. Avoid anything that could be a negative trigger or bring you back into a state of being more depressed and anxious. I would recommend bringing something like this or something that you can hold on to fidget with. Some of these trips that you're going under can be really intense. You don't really know where your mind's going to take you on this journey. I am somebody that's really anxious, and the first time I didn't have anything to fidget with. While you're laying there, you're kind of disconnected from your body. Your mind is kind of drifted off into another realm. And you're definitely going down this rabbit hole journey. The first time around, I was so anxious when I was under the treatment, and I was connected to a heart monitor on my finger. I kept tapping on the table because I was just so anxious about everything that was going on. When I brought this the second time to fidget with, it helped bring a reminder that, hey, I'm still in a safe zone, even though my mind and my body is feeling like I'm going down this roller coaster ride. You're definitely feeling a lot of sensations. For me, it really felt like I was in a roller coaster or on a boat. Things felt rocky. I could feel my body as if it was moving, even though I was still in a comfortable chair. The second time that I went into the treatment, I definitely had more of a calmer experience where I felt like I was on a boat that was drifting through water. As the music changed on my headphones, I'd be going through several different journeys, but it was definitely more of a calm experience. When you're going into this treatment, you want to go in with a relaxed and calm mind. You kind of want to let the chemical do its thing. For some people, you might have a spiritual awakening. You might uncover some things in your past. I feel like I've done so much work to figure out where my depression, anxiety, and mental health issues have stemmed from. So for me, there wasn't very much of an awakening. It was more of just my mind going through this psychedelic journey. But it's more so the chemical that's actually resetting parts of your brains. Even if you don't have an awakening, the chemical itself should have still done its work in terms of putting your brain into that neuroplasticity state. A few other things, you want to make sure that you're not drinking or smoking cannabis around the time frame of your treatments. More specifically, the directions are you cannot drink alcohol within the 24-hour range. You can't smoke cannabis within the 24-hour time frame. You also can't use things like Ativan or lorazepam. And then you also can't eat 6 to 8 hours prior to your treatment as well. I would recommend if you're looking at treatment, try to book earlier on in the day so you get those 8 hours while you're sleeping. Here's a clip of the nurse setting up the IV drip. There's a couple different forms that you can take the ketamine therapy. You're seated in a pretty comfy chair that pulls back, and you're set up with a heart monitor and a blood pressure machine. There's the ketamine in the IV drip. They put on headphones so you can't hear anything from the outside and play some ambient music to help guide you through your journey. Then also cover your eyes with a mask. A few minutes later, you start to feel your body dissociate. Anyways, I hope this video helps. I'll post another vlog on my other treatments and experiences. I have to limit myself from using my phone and laptop as per the doctor's orders. But if there's any questions or comments that you're curious about, that you want me to further emphasize or speak about, please let me know and I'm happy to help you out. For anybody else that's looking to do ketamine therapy, I would recommend it. If you're feeling severely depressed, feeling anhedonia, and having those feelings of suicide ideation, because it did help lift some of those intense feelings so that I can be in a more manageable state.